to this week's video. Sorry about horrible lighting once again. Wisconsin weather is crazy. Like, if I would have made this video yesterday, I would have very good lighting, and my little mini light is no longer working, so. But yeah, it's like back to being really crappy out, and we had blizzards last week, so yay, Midwest. But anyways, so this video was a recommended video, and I decided on a whim, hey, why not? I mean, we've all had this struggle, right? I'm sure, where you're really interested in a specific tarot deck. Let's say you're somebody that's really into Crowley, and you really want to use a Thoth deck, but like, it just doesn't resonate with you to the level that you thought. Or like, you still use it because you like it, but you really haven't really given much thought as to if you're really connected to it, or if you just like it because you like Crowley. That's just an example. I've also gotten, like, this deck, for example. I loved the artwork. I got it online, which is something I'm going to talk about, and I'm still trying to connect with it. I really do love the artwork. I'm trying to like infuse my own energy into it and sleep with the cards, which is something that other people do, which is going to be a different video eventually when I get to it, because I have a whole lineup that's going to be about tips on how to connect with the deck that you have, and how to get like really not connected, but where you become very aware of what the cards mean and what they mean to you and represent to you when you do a reading. So, but yeah, this deck I'm still working on. Like, there is a draw to it, but it's not as much as I thought. And that's happened before with what's it called? The Mythical Goddess Tarot I bought years ago. And I got it actually in store, and it just did not feel right when I started using them. I still used them, but it wasn't until I got my, I've gone through various tarot decks, these are just a couple examples, but it wasn't until 4 years ago at Yule, well, it'll be well, it was 2013 Yule, so yeah, that I got the Druid Craft Tarot deck. And I picked it out online on a whim. My mom told me that for the holiday she would get me a new deck since I wasn't resonating with the other one. And so I just looked through them quick and just on an impulse went and got this one. And I have never been more connected or more happy with a tarot deck. And of course, this is also going to be about Oracle, which I am going to get into how to actually help you, but let me just give you examples quick. This is also going to be about Oracle, and I had a mermaid Oracle deck at one point, and I got it because I really liked mermaids at some point in my life when I was a teenager, like 14 years ago, and I just couldn't do anything with it. Like, I just didn't have that vibe with it. And I had already at that time had this. So this I've had since probably 15 years. Healing with the Fairies Oracle card. And even though I don't like Doreen Virtue, no offense to any of you who might, I know my mom, who's New Age, doesn't even like her anymore because of what she's become. So this is no offense to her, even Doreen, or anybody that's into it. But this deck still I use constantly for Oracle. And I just never got sick of it. And I don't know if you noticed the condition of my tarot deck that I use for most of my readings. Yeah. And then, you know, again, Oracle is another one that I've gone through a lot. I got this, which I'm going to use as an example later on for one of the ways to find the right tarot or Oracle deck for you later. But this one I adore and I love, and I use for my, like, when I used to do daily pick a card out of 3 for your day, and I'm trying to get it going on my Facebook business page, which is in the info stuff, but I was doing it on my personal page, but we'll see. But I love this one. But then I got this one because my mom had it, and I was like, you know, I'm really connected to earth things. Obviously, like earth fairies are like the thing that I get connected to. Though I love anything goddess related, for some reason when it comes to tarot and oracle, it's really that earth and fairy thing. So I was like, oh, no, I'm the one that should have this. And I was like, no, this is for me. And so then she got me my own as a gift this Yule. And I'm not having that immediate connection like I did with the others. So I'm working on that as well. So let's get into how you can actually find and connect with a tarot deck, an oracle deck, and know it might be the right one for you. And things can always change. Like what worked for you at one point may not be what you're still connected to later on. Which is why I mean, this is not all of the ones I even currently use or have. These are just ones I'm using for examples. And like, even though I was lucky to where one of my oracle decks and one of my tarot decks I've been able to be connected to for a very long time, that's not true for everyone. So this is at the moment. So you want something that's personal and intuitive connection to you, between you and the cards. Like, there has to be that draw, and there has to be this, like, intuitive feel, like, this is what I need. We need to put aside what our preconceived notions of what we're looking for in a deck are, to some extent, which I'll get into later, because, like, I use as the Crowley example. Yeah, you might be really into Crowley, and you may want that freaking Thoth deck, but it may just not be what's right for you. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. So I also urge that for that same purpose, do not go online to buy them. Even though I said that, like, I picked mine out outline, there's a reason why online can be okay, which I will get into later, and I kind of touched on with that. But in general, you kind of want to be able to, like, feel the cards and look at them. You also should consider how you want to use them, what the purpose of them are going to be for you, what kind of spreads, readings you want to do with them, and what kind of connection you want. So for example, like, okay, yeah, I refer to myself as a love witch because I do a lot of love witch stuff, and I call myself a hedge witch because I do a lot of healing stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what I'm looking for in my tarot. Yeah, I do a lot of love readings. Like, that's the majority of what people ask for. But it's more than just what you're going to use them for. It's how, what, and what you are connected to. So, for example, mine's very earth and fairy based. Very Mother Nature, very, well, I'm a Taurus too, with Capricorn moon, so it makes sense. Very connected to the earth, something that's forest related, because like the fairy ones are like fairy forest and things like that, or healing with fairies. So for me, that's what I needed. I need something that kind of evened me out, because I'm not very grounded for a Taurus with a Capricorn moon. I have mainly Cancer in my chart, so I'm very like, and having that groundedness helps me to be able to do the other readings and what I plan on doing. I also do career stuff. And the majority, besides love, because people ask for that a lot, are just general, your conscious, subconscious, going in depth on that. And sometimes the issue might be love, but I'm going deep into a person. That needs a connection to earth. So another example would be like the goddess, mythical goddess tarot, and other goddess tarot decks that I mentioned prior. If you are right now trying to really get in touch with your inner goddess, you may need to get a deck that has some type of goddess symbolization. Maybe it may not be the mythical goddess, maybe not just a pure goddess deck, but something that has that empowerment to it. There are also feminist goddess and feminist empowerment tarot decks as well. And if that's something that you're looking for yourself, that might be good as well. But not necessary. And that's something that people need to keep in mind. These are all tips, and you don't need to have them all. And some of them contradict each other because it's all about what feels right to you. And then, like with the Druidcraft, if you are somebody that really needs earth-based or groundedness, or really want to connect deep into the psyche or deep into a person's world, that's probably the best deck for you, the Druidcraft Tarot, or other earthy based things. So also make sure when you're doing tarot that you're buying the full 78 card tarot decks and not ones that have less, so that way you can have all the minor and major arcana cards. And keep in mind too that not every deck uses the same names for the cards. For example, my Druid Tarot card deck has probably like 4 cards that are not in the basic rider deck that everybody else gets. For example, like it's the Lady and the Lord instead of the Emperor and the Empress. And even though I plan on doing a whole video on the Empress card, and the Empress is very special to me, it just happens that the deck that I feel the most connected to does not call it that, and that's totally fine. But the symbolization and the meaning behind it is different too. What represents you as well? So we talked about like what you may need and what you might be drawn to and all that kind of stuff, and the preconceived notions of what you think you need. But also, like for example, this fairy forest, I saw this picture. I'm a natural redhead and I have pale skin like this. I saw this, I thought it was so beautiful, and I saw that as like a representation of who I feel like I am inside. And that's on a superficial level, but like just looking at all the artwork, I was so immediately like so drawn. Like it just represented everything I feel about myself. And that's for the Oracle. And then with the Druidcraft, it also was like really connected because that I got that right after I left being full Wiccan, and I became more like intertwining various similar pagan traditions, and at that point was getting really into mixing Druid and Wicca, and that's basically the idea of what Druidcraft is, and so that represented me at that time, but it still has a strong tie to me. Also, just because it speaks to you, it may still not be the right energy and vibe, which is why I said before not to buy online. However, as I said with the Druidcraft one, for example, if you buy like in an impulse and you don't think about it and you just get it, there's probably a reason, because that's like your true pure intuition at hand. That's not you thinking about it, having your anxiety kind of get in the way of your energy and intuition. If you don't even think about it and you just like, oh, that one, and you just impulsively get it, and it's online, that might work out for you. It worked out for myself and other people I know, and from other things that I researched just to back up some of the things that I had made note of to make sure that like other people like agreed. So yeah. Like, and then go along with that, do not overthink. Just go with gut, whether online or in person. If you start obsessing about a certain deck, whether it be tarot or oracle, like you've seen it and you just can't get it out of your mind, but like maybe it's the energy or the vibe or the feeling that it gives you when you look at it. Maybe it's like just the artwork. You don't know, but you just can't get a certain deck out of your head. You probably should get it. And that's what happened with this. And that's what I was going to bring this one up for. So I got this one at Pagan Fest last year in northeastern Wisconsin. And my first time going around to all those stands, I saw this like popped out to me, and I was like, I need this. But then I was thinking to myself, okay, I already have how many Oracle decks and how many tarot decks. I don't need the Fairy Forest and Oracle of the Wild Green World. I don't need it, Tiffany. And at this point, I had like rose gold hair and synthetic, like a couple of synthetic little dreads in my hair and little crystals all over my face and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, obviously I'm in fairy mode. And we went around a couple more times. I was with two friends, so we kind of wanted to make sure that we were spending our money wisely and getting what we wanted and just double checking and just having fun because there's new things coming throughout the day, etc. And towards the end, I literally swear I stood staring at this. This was like my fourth time stopping at it. I probably stared at it for like 10-15 minutes, and my friends were just like, just get it. And I was like, okay, I'm getting this. It's being done. And I'm very, very happy I did. Like, one of the best decisions I made. So, yeah, if you're obsessing over an Oracle or Tarot deck that you have seen, it's most likely meant to be. If you're still unsure and the store that you're at will allow you to look at each card, or if you go online and Google the deck and can see all of the various cards, maybe look at each card, look at the art, the card overall, the description of the deck that is written on the back or that you see online. If that speaks to you, what kind of symbolization do you get from each type of card? Because there should also be something within the art, within the deck itself that really speaks to you. And if you're still not sure and you're like stuck between two decks, or you're just not completely sure, do some intensive research on it. See if other people have used them and how they worked out. And maybe there's videos, because there's YouTube videos of people doing tarot readings. See if you can maybe find somebody using that deck, and while they're laying out the cards, does that feel right to you? Is that something that you're still drawn to? There are other tips. There's so many tips out there that can help you to know that you are going to get the right deck that will speak to you. Because you do not want a deck that you don't feel fully connected to. It's one thing if you're just doing readings for yourself, but if you also want to try doing readings for other people, or you really want an in-depth thing for yourself, you should have something that speaks to you. So if you have other suggestions that I did not lay out, please put them in the comments. And in the future, I will make a video talking about how to connect and learn your deck once you get it, after I get through other things. I'm also going to do this with pendulums too. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed Beltane this coming week, if you're watching this prior to May 1st. And I'll see you next week, or it might be not next week, but it's final season grad school, so either next week or the week after, and then things will be a lot more often. So thank you. I love you. Thank you all for your support. If you want a tarot reading, all my information's below. If you want to check out my shop and all that kind of stuff, it's all below. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and like this video if you did, and share it too. I would really appreciate it. Alright, see you next time. Bye.